Bienvenido a mi canal. Welcome. First 1,000 hours and anyone else who's viewing. This is SK Language, and we're here not to talk about videos, songs, chants, or kindergarten games, but to talk about literacy. To talk about giving our children a message in Spanish. If you're learning some other language, just think of that other language instead of Spanish. But that's what we're talking about today. Okay, so one great way to give your children information in Spanish is a picture talk. You should get a picture. It should be interesting. It could be a silly picture. It could be a meaningful picture. This is a painting that I got from a magazine, and I could say in Spanish, "Oh, I know who this is. It's George Washington, the first president of the United States. He was in a war. He was going to fight. I see he is in a boat. I see ice. Oh, and there's a flag. Right? Oh, it's over here. there's the flag. Oh, he's in a river called the Delaware River. Right? I'm telling information. And I'm pointing it out in the picture, okay? And then after we do the picture talk, I can get the children to give me a little feedback, and I'm gonna get into how to do that once I talk about some more ways to get that information out to the kids. So besides picture talk, we have picture books. All right, so you just simply read the book, right? And it's short and sweet, and there you go. All right, another thing that you could do is storytelling, but you have to know the language a little bit better to do the storytelling. But it's not reading, it's just telling a story, and you might use a little prop. So I might tell a little story about the sea, and then I surprise the kids by bringing up, oh, I saw a shark in the sea swimming by me or whatever. And you just have different props that you show. You might have pictures, you might have a felt board if you were really snazzy and have pictures there. You could act out the stories. You could ask the children to draw pictures of the stories. There's so many things that you could do. You don't want to burn yourself out doing too much. You don't want it to become real silly. You don't want to feel like, I have to dress up like a clown and do a cartwheel and it has to be exciting. It's going to turn out corny. It's going to turn out like a joke. So you want to be cool and, give the children a little something to look at, maybe. Gestures, pictures, and tell your story. Okay, nonfiction is great to give to kids, especially if you give them something that they already know about. It makes it easier for them to comprehend. That's why we are using a science textbook that's a grade younger than what my kids are. They know the information, so it helps them. I mean, they know the information in English. It helps them be able to read it in Spanish. We use children's Bibles because my kids know some Bible stories, so when we read it in Spanish, that background knowledge really helps us to comprehend what we're reading. And if you teach your kids some phonics, they can learn to read pretty easily. It's not as hard as English to learn to read. So the children can read for themselves, and that's an awesome activity for them to do to get messages in the language. Now, after you do your picture talk, or read your picture book, or you read your nonfiction book, or you tell a story, it's great to have some activity going on afterward, because that gives the children motivation to pay attention. If they know you're going to ask questions afterwards, they want to be able to get those questions correct. So one great thing to do is to ask yes or no questions, where all they have to say is sí or no. And another great thing is to ask a question where all they have to do is say one word that you just said. For instance, if I said, I see George Washington in a boat. Wait, what was George Washington in? And they say, a boat. That was really easy. Look, I have a visitor. Oh, look, I have another visitor. Oh, okay, bye-bye. So Easy questions where they only have to say one word. You might ask questions where they say they answer in English. You could just accept that. You might ask questions where they answer in Spanish and they have to say a whole sentence, but only if they're able, only if they're ready for that. It's not so easy. You could have them fill in the blank where you say, birds eat, and then they have to say something, right? They know that it's a fill in the blank by the way that you say it. Some uses of water are, or you might say, por ejemplo, like for example. You're talking, you say for example, like that, then they have to give examples. This stuff seems really simple, and it is, but it could easily go wrong with the wrong kind of thinking in the teacher. A lot of teachers wanted to turn the entire thing into a grammar quiz, where they would say, okay, I read this book and it says, esta es mi mamá, este es mi papá. Did you notice it said esta es mi mamá, este es mi papá? Yes, because the words are feminine and masculine. And, oh, well, there's singular and there's plural. And now you have a worksheet. Lois and Omar, shh. And now you have a quiz. And now there's a test. Why don't you make your own sentences? No, this is right, this is wrong. Use your grammar rules. It could easily turn into that if you don't remember you're focusing on the message. That's the way you learn. Focusing on the message, not focusing on grammar rules. You don't want to pressure the children and test them. You can't test them before they got any knowledge to be tested on. Give them a lot of information. And then, let them interact with you a little bit with some easy questions, or maybe they draw, a little picture. I'll give you an example of drawing a picture. I read a Bible verse that was like, it was in Revelation. I saw a man, and by his feet there was fire, and he was enveloped in a cloud, and he had a crown on his head, and blah, blah, blah. And my children drew what they heard. Simple, easy, took like 1 minute. So the drawing was something that they could do. Get them involved, keep their attention. I know they were listening. No biggie. Okay, so that was it. I have my notes here. We talked about picture talks, picture books, storytelling, nonfiction. If they have phonics lessons, they can read themselves. And we talked about some little simple things they can do to keep themselves involved. Fill in the blanks, yes or no questions, easy questions. And if you use textbooks for native speakers, the questions are right in the book. Easy as can be. Look, and I have a teacher's manual. I even have the answers to the questions. And my children usually write down the answers to the questions. So that's another way that they can get involved, to write the answers. It's not carnival time. It's not that exciting. You want to stay cool. You want to stay business-like. But at the same time, you put a little pizzazz in it. You put some variety in it. Include the songs. Include the videos. Include playground games too, to keep your kids interested until they get old enough that they don't need those games anymore. But you might keep the songs and keep the videos going. So, variety is the spice of life. Okay, so have fun with it, and leave me a comment down below if you have anything to tell me. I love comments. Thanks for viewing. Bye.